Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening, people who trade in the market. Last 4 days were really tough. In fact, I checked last evening, Netflix in Nasdaq was down more than 20%. It's a big fall for the IT stocks, and I'm really happy, grateful, excited, interested to interact once more with Nirmal and Bhakti. Thank you, both of you, for joining in. And little I know about them. Um, they are from Pune, one of my favorite cities, which I always love to visit back to. And they have been associated with me for a couple of years, or little more than a couple of years. And this interaction is primarily done to know them, to know their story, their hits and misses, and their journey as a person and also as a trader. So, thank you, Nirmal, Bhakti, pleasure. And
Thank you very much,
quickly,
sir.
quickly, can I have a quick introduction and how we got to interact and how we.
Sure, sir.
Sure. So, Bhakti, sir.
So, I am from a very different background. I studied early childhood care and education. So, I'm graduated from a very different place altogether. Finance, markets, this was never my field. But then, after a few years, he sailed in merchant navy. So it was kind of कि बस अभी बहुत हो गया अभी we should do something else. Let's not अभी ऐसे installments में बहुत हो गया life.
Right.
So I think he was trading थोड़ा बहुत ऐसे.
Yeah.
I was struggling.
Yes.
So we so मतलब later on we got to know कि this is not the way. We need to like properly take education in this.
Right.
Like
Right.
any other field, this also requires
True.
proper
True.
education.
True. I'll just stop you. I'll just stop you for a minute. So you got your interest pushed onto you about the stock market from him, right? So I'll pause you for a minute.
Absolutely.
From where did
Like he
Nirmal
was
get your interest? As she was telling us, you're into merchant navy, and
Yes.
so from where did this stock market thing happen to you?
So I had been dabbling in this with the stock since 2007, 2008. Back then, Kingfisher was a very big name. So everybody. So I
Sure.
also started by being with Kingfisher. And then everybody knows what happened to Kingfisher. So I had a few stocks like that, and I used to dabble. I used to read the news and do it. And then somewhere my career took over, and then this just went into the back seat. I never was interested in it until again when we got married, and then we were like thinking, "Nahi, ab, merchant navy is enough." And then so I think if not merchant navy, then what?
Right.
You something has to be there to continue. घर पे तो नहीं बैठ सकते सर.
And
So what?
and
So
how
then
old were you? What was your age at this time?
when I started this, sir,
Yes,
I
when you
was 36.
you're 36.
Now I'm 40, sir.
Now you're 40, but it was 4-5 years back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 4 years back.
So 4-5 साल
I
पहले
was
you
36.
started to give it a serious thought. उसके पहले
That's right.
उसके पहले you've done a little bit here and there. That's it. Time
Yes,
pass.
that was not trading. I because here अच्छा ये stock बहुत अच्छा जाने वाला है. Like everybody else does in the market.
True.
News. Otherwise, your friend does. अरे नहीं मुझे I know about this stock and this company. So let's do that.
Okay.
So I was also there.
So
Doing similar things.
so 5 years
And blowing
back.
my money.
So 5 years back, when you had this brilliant idea, what did you do?
That's right. So then we had to then we started. I opened my account first again, a new account. I said, okay, now let's start fresh. I don't want to go back to the same broker and see my old losses.
Yeah.
The first thing I did was to change the broker.
Right.
Back then Zerodha and all these were just starting up.
Good.
The low cost brokerages,
Yeah.
discount brokers.
Right.
So I had opened an account there, and then I came across Zerodha Varsity.
Very good. Yes.
So that's where actually our journey began.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I was after look, I'm in the merchant navy, I'm not there for 4 months. It's not possible for me to read everything and then see what the markets are doing because back then internet was not so easily and readily available on the ship.
Hmm.
So that was not there for me.
So
But I said, see your home now. Sorry. Yeah.
so let's go back a little back in your career. यहाँ पे pause लेते हैं, वापस आएंगे. Your
Sure.
career life in merchant navy ship. So tell us a little bit about your background, your school, college background, और कैसे आप merchant navy में पहुंच गए?
Okay. Okay. Sir, I started this career back in 99. I was a 19-year-old when I joined C.
Okay.
So actually, I used to see that a couple of my relatives were there in the merchant navy, and I came from a very humble background. So I used to see, यार ये लोग तो इतना पैसा कमाते हैं, कहाँ तो कहीं जाते हैं झाड़ में, and then they come back and they have nice shoes and nice clothes.
Okay.
And they get to see everybody comes home and tells names of different cities and exotic countries.
True.
So as a child, I was very intrigued.
Yeah.
यार wow, like. बैक देन मैंने कभी नाइकी सुना भी नहीं था. आई सॉ पीपल वेयरिंग नाइकी का शूज और यार ये कौन सा कंपनी है, लाइक आई वांट टू बी लाइक दैट.
Okay.
That's when this thing started, whatever it is, I want to try this. I get to roam the world and all that rosy picture was there.
Right.
So then I started finding out about it. So after I did my 12th standard, back then we were staying in Thane. Actually, there's a small town in the suburbs called Dombivli.
Yes.
Which is about 4 stations from Thane.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I used to stay there.
Okay.
My parents used to be working in Mumbai. My mother worked in RBI.
Okay.
And my father used to be in ACC Cement.
Okay.
So that's where we used to stay. And then I did my college in there. Then after my 12th standard, I started applying for this merchant navy cadetship and apprenticeship. And then as a 19 year, I got through their entrances and then
So was it
that's
rosy?
when I joined that side.
Was it rosy? जैसे सोचा था वैसे निकला?
Oh no. The first ship I realized that this was not for me. But then as they say, either do what you like or like what you do. So for me it was like what you do, but after that, there was no turning back. Because my father had spent quite some money in my training, and I couldn't go back and tell him that नहीं अब मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता है.
Right.
So that thing was overbearing. Back then 2 lakh rupees was a big thing. 99 2000 for my family to spend a couple of lakhs on my education was a very big thing.
Very big thing.
So I said now I cannot go back and tell him that no, I can't do it. So now जैसे भी है, I must continue. And I succeeded. I became a captain. I reached all the way where
Very
I
nice.
had to.
Any particular horrific experience?
Sir, plenty. I think we'll have another video for it. But yes, it's a very adventurous life.
Right.
So I'd see the sea is it humbles you very fast.
Yeah.
Just like the markets. So.
Yeah. Okay. So
Anything you're in a metro.
so you did good, and then now when you're 35, 36 years old, now you realized that I've seen a lot of seas, and I would like to come back to the land for good. And for that, I need a long-term plan, and stock market is that. So you started reading Zerodha Varsity, and you roped, and that's when you roped her also.
Yeah, that's why I started pushing her that look, I cannot read, and then even if I read, I have nothing to look at. Whether it works, does not work, but I don't have internet.
Right.
So then she had a little resistance in the beginning. That मुझे तो finance का background ही नहीं है. I am like a teacher in school, then you are telling me to do it. Suddenly, candlesticks दिखा रहे हो कि ये होता है.
Yeah.
What is this,
So
there was a resistance for 3-4 months. Then she started liking it. Like, this makes sense, like buyers कैसे होते हैं, how a candlestick looks and the shadows, etc.
yeah.
So then our first trading experience was only based on candles, and it's very naive. Now we laugh.
We laugh about it now. But back then,
Used to
after
wait.
reading varsity, it was like, Acha, okay.
It is so simple.
Okay. I can trade. No problem.
I think
for Marupuzo and Marupuzo वाले चलो आपने trade लेना है.
नहीं, I think the good thing at that particular time for the Indian equity markets was discount brokers, and especially Zerodha, the way they had developed technology. I think that helped anyone who has some capital and some understanding to at least dabble, the word dabble, at least chalo, I can dip my finger and do something about it. So I think that was a big added advantage. So what happened? Early phase of your trading, what happened? The candles burned out quickly?
Oh, it was horrible.
No.
It was horrible, and very soon we realized that this is not enough. We need something else. And that was when we realized that, or rather we came across this technical analysis term itself.
Through
Okay.
varsity,
Through varsity, yeah.
Then,
Yes.
yeah, there used to be models. I think still there are.
Yeah, there
Just
are.
a model. I still see
It's
that's the
it's
best
very
way to
good.
learn options. That's the best place to start technical analysis.
Yes, very good. Very good content. Okay, so that's where you first heard
So
about
digital
technical
was the
analysis.
place I feel to start.
अच्छा मुझे एक चीज़ बताइए. You are mid 30s. You are thinking about creating a secondary platform for your life after your stint as a merchant navy, and Bhakti is your wife. At this stage, when you're mid 30s, do you have any बैकअप ऑफ फाइनेंस फाइनेंशियल इन्वेस्टमेंट मतलब ट्रेडिंग को मैं साइड में रखता हूँ पीपल डू एनपीएस
Okay.
पीपीएफ पोस्ट ऑफिस एफडी म्यूचुअल फंड्स एट दिस स्टेज हैव यू डिड यू डू दैट डिड यू हैव अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ इट
Yes, sir. So when we started, when I started for first 4 years, I did not stop saving. We were just dabbling into it.
या
And then had my savings. And then certain things happened this year, which finally pushed me into it. Maybe I would not have left early. I would have waited for a year or so.
राइट
But then I had to undergo a surgery, and then after that saving, I'm still recovering.
Okay.
So then she said, "Look, already you're here at home for 1 year, and we are doing decently in this. And why not start this completely? Why do you even want to go back now?
Sure.
This is like a godsend thing. So I'm like, okay, it's a bad thing that happened, but at least it's a good omen that we are pushed into it automatically.
Right. Right.
So let's
Anyways,
take it up.
we were planning for this for say maybe in next 1 year, 2 years maybe.
Right. Right.
Max 3 years.
So
Right.
just got
It
forward.
was like, okay, it's like a signal. We are
Right.
getting a signal. Let's
बट पहले से आपका सेविंग्स था मींस व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड
Yes,
इज
sir.
ट्रेडिंग को साइड रखते लेट्स कंसिडर ट्रेडिंग एज योर शॉर्ट टर्म प्रॉफिट्स मनी मेकर बट बैक ऑफ इट अगर ट्रेडिंग 1-2 महीना 6 महीना 1 साल ना भी चले यू हैड क्रिएटेड अ बैकअप दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट
So yes, I have still created a backup for next 4 years.
ओके गुड
3
गुड
to 4 years का backup मेरे पास है because at my age I'm not 20 even now. कि like चलेगा यार if something happens and I do something and I just like get everything back.
राइट
So I have kept a 3-4 years का backup,
श्योर
and then only I started trading. And
Very
investments are also there in stocks as well as I trade only 20% of what I invest. So 20 to 30% का ही मेरा ट्रेडिंग है ज्यादा
Okay.
मेरा इन्वेस्टमेंट में लॉन्ग टर्म स्टॉक इन्वेस्टमेंट्स में है like when we started this investment thing a year ago is it a year now sir mentorship invest I think
या मोर देन अ ईयर
so since then we started creating a portfolio for investments as well and
Okay.
that has also helped us because we are doing quite good there like I mean I tell in fact trading is like it's a bumpy ride up down चलता रहता है
या
but investment मैं I'm glad to say that we bet Nifty 500 easy.
Yeah, that's a little more stable ship. It's trading is your rough seas. You must have experienced rough seas, but yeah, we are yet to see a pretty healthy bear market yet. I would suggest मैं डराना नहीं चाहूँगा, but हाँ जब तक आपका long term portfolio holding 20 to 30 40 या फिर 50% करेक्ट ना हो it has not gone through a correction yet. You can do this. You can just check the internet long term holding of Mr. Damani, Jhunjhunwala, anyone. आपको दिखेगा that their portfolio at one point of time would have come down 30-40% their holdings because तब जाके वो 2 गुना 3 गुना 10 गुना open up होता है on the upside. So okay, so you got into Zerodha Varsity, you picked up some good basic content and candlesticks burned out very quickly. And then what happened? Fights happened? Fight, घर पे झगड़ा हुआ होगा definitely.
Then we started looking for more options.
Yeah, she was like, I don't know whether I want to do this now.
Okay, ठीक है.
Then again it was again the same fight that I told you it's not possible.
मैंने बोला था.
Same story that what had happened. Finally we landed up at even in markets.
Yes.
Where you were teaching at that time.
Yes.
So and I really liked the way you taught after that course. Then again it was again ऐसे हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा है I don't know what to do. And then we came across I think that time
Yeah.
it was mentorship.com.
No, I will tell you.
Abhijitpaul.com.
That's right. It used to be AbhijitPaul.com.
Yeah, it was.
So what happened was I came home and I was not here. I was on the ship when she did this e-learn market stuff courses. She told me,
Yeah.
it's fantastic. I had an instructor there, Abhijit Paul, and he was really good and all. So one evening, it was May, I think, back then. I remember 3 years back. It was May. So we were just sitting at home, and I was dabbing at Google, Google your name, you know. यार इतना बात करके देखो तो सही है कौन ये सर. तो and then I came on abhijitpaul.com. From somewhere I went on your website, and वहाँ से मुझे mentorship का ये word
Yeah.
मिला या somewhere there. But
Yes,
I'm
yes.
sure I remember I went to that website first.
Yeah.
And then somewhere I got this mentorship, and he's teaching. So then I think I called you up the same day and we spoke in the morning. You know, we want to start, you know. Because back then, kaisa tha, I had been hunting the internet, and everybody teaches you indicators. Nobody teaches you how to trade or create
How to
strategies.
use all those indicators
Nobody
together.
Hmm.
Nobody teaches you that.
Acha.
We started reading books, everything was fine, but see, to be very frank, at this age it's little difficult to self-study.
No,
Manage the house,
that's a mental
the
block.
whole show, and then study. उसके लिए भी time निकाल के ऐसे no,
Yeah.
it's little difficult. But having somebody, a guru, who will be there, you know, and like anytime I can just pick up the phone or message or call up, and I can clear up my doubt. It's a very big thing.
अच्छा,
It's a big help.
ऐसा तो नहीं,
Something.
ऐसा it will be very difficult for me to believe that you enrolled to my program and you heard my videos and you started interacting with me on weekly basis and your portfolio picked up. ऐसा तो हो नहीं सकता. You must have improvised on your learnings. मतलब आपको लगा होगा कि आपका खुद का एक edge बनता है. Say for example, if I trade the daily charts, it may not make sense for you. I know Bhakti prefers to trade the weekly charts, right? So ये जो self realization, understanding myself as a trader, that someone like me might help you, but it has to come from within. So I would like to know, from your candlestick days to the basic learnings and then mentorship couple of years back and today afternoon as we speak, what are the big crossovers or the big crossroads or changes you have seen in you as a trader? Both of you needs.
Yes, sir, definitely. Initially, when I learned all these indicators, then we started doing the strategies. Initially, it was like whatever strategy came up, जो दिखा सब ट्रेड किया. तो it doesn't work like that.
Right.
ये मतलब ये दिखा चलो, कॉन्ट्रा दिखा चलो करो, स्विंग दिखा करो.
Right.
So it was like a all, you know, jumbled up thing.
Right.
And ultimately nothing comes out of that. So it took us a lot of time, but we realized कि नहीं ऐसा नहीं होता. We have to, you know, what suits you best, you need to do that.
You have to find a niche for yourself in this kind of things, you know.
Correct.
मतलब पहला एक साल तो हमारा ऐसे ही गया कि see, market always has that no beginner's luck जो होता है ना.
Correct.
So we also had it fabulous in the beginning.
Right.
हर trade में जो ले रहा whatever trade
Whatever I did,
clicking है.
everything
Profit
went
आ
well.
रहा है.
But then there was a point वो जो ऐसे जब पता चलता कि नहीं ऐसा नहीं होता.
And then whatever we were taking नहीं चल रहा है. So that stage is also there. Yeah, एक भी trade नहीं लग रहा है. And you start self-doubting, you know, कि either there's something wrong with me or there's something wrong with the strategy or I don't know what. Is it my luck?
So you had your good months and bad months.
Yes, we still have it.
I know, but till date, tell me about your worst week or worst month. I means you can share the numbers if you are comfortable, but I would like to know the psyche. मतलब जब मेरा एक हफ्ता खराब जाता है, I have hit a drawdown. I have booked a big loss. This month is red. It's bad for me. The only way we recover is we bounce back. There's no other way. So what is your mental practice exercise? What do you do to tell yourself, nay, next week I'm going to trade again with the same conviction? What kind of exercise do you do?
So, sir, I can tell you with numbers that we had traded together. I think it was a year back.
Yes.
I think you will remember that interaction as well. First one was Adani, right? It gapped down. I was in a long position, you know. I lost 1.5 lakh rupees in 10 minutes that day.
Okay.
So the markets opened and it
Just gapped down.
Cap down, yes.
And I think next day we had our meeting and we discussed Adani the next day.
Yes.
So by then my money was all gone out, you know.
like
You're
very
really
bad.
frustrated. You can understand what is happening, you know.
Okay. So
The
how?
whole month was going well,
हाँ.
So it
One trade and everything was washed out.
it wiped out our पिछले 2 महीने का almost 1.5 2 महीने का सब एक इसमें खत्म हो गया.
खत्म हो गया उसमें.
So what did you do psychologically? फिर क्या हुआ? Means how did you prepare yourself mentally? Because many a times I hear people leave it, they quit. That one trade or 1 week wipes out years and months of gains is a very common thing. And we all experience it. The difference is how do we bounce back? So what did you do? When you were young, you said, मुझे तो merchant navy करना ही है. अभी पैसा डाल दिया, अभी करना ही है. Was it that similar kind of a mental time frame?
So sometimes it is a little ऐसे थोड़ा सा दुख होता है कि अरे यार इतनी मेहनत करेंगे तो मार्केट में स्टेक्स है, मनी इज नॉट इजी. 1 लाख से तो रेट दिखता है, 2 लाख रेट दिखता है. इट्स नॉट इजी टू एक्सेप्ट इट.
That day
You fight.
when the market closed, तब तक तो हम लोग बस मतलब
शॉक में ही थे.
शॉक में रो रहे थे, एक दूसरे पे चिल्ला रहे थे. I don't know what all we did, but later on that day we spoke and it was like ऐसे बैठे नहीं रह सकते. We cannot just sit on the loss.
Yeah.
We have to get it back.
Right.
Only way to get it back is जहाँ से जहाँ गया है.
Correct. Yes. Correct.
मार्केट में क्या है तो आना भी वहीं से चाहिए और कहाँ से आएगा.
True.
So if we stop, it is not going to come back.
True.
So we just downsized. We just reduced our exposure. कि अगर मैं मेरा maximum loss में 30,000 या 40,000 तक का लेता था, then I got scared. नहीं यार 10 का ही ठीक है, उससे ज़्यादा ट्रेड लेना नहीं है.
Yeah. Yes.
Till I don't get some at least 50% of my losses back. So we just cut down on our positions.
Good.
For some time we even got so frustrated we left doing futures. We only started doing
Stocks.
In cash.
In cash market. Yes.
Only cash
Yes.
market.
Yes.
So that we did. Then I think that is the time you said that you had made a list कि इनको नहीं trade करना चाहिए. So there was a list at that time. Adani was, you said नहीं Adani just stock in my you shouldn't trade. तो यार क्यों ले लिया इसको हमने? We didn't ask you also back then. तो एक phase होती है ना आपको. Now I am okay. I don't need to ask every stock to my mentor.
Yeah.
तो ये ठीक है कि नहीं ये it's like daily stuff. अगर 1-1.5 साल तुमने पढ़ाई की है किसी के साथ.
Yeah.
And then if you do not have a confidence of trading couple of stocks also on your own,
True.
then I feel that where are we going as
Yes.
mentees,
True. True.
So
So
we will not ask Abhijit sir every stock that we trade. Because then how will we grow? He will tell me कि ये नहीं करना है, ये करना है. But then there has to be some confidence in me or her that we should do it as a team together.
So knowing
Downsized, sir.
So knowing myself, जब आपने मुझे अदानी के बारे में पूछा होगा, मैं जले पे नमक तो I must have done that. I don't remember what I suggested.
Because you told us, so at least that's what mentor is for, isn't it? He's there to tell you when it is wrong, when you have gone wrong,
So you bounced back, right?
Yes. And I will tell you a good trade also. We did fantastic on Asian Paint. We improvised, Sometimes there is a gut, you say, no, gut. कि नहीं अभी इसमें ना शूट नहीं है, but I feel that जो भी चल रहा है ना ये अच्छा है. So I will take an early entry and then I will double up my position.
Yes.
Then I get a confirm. तो ऐसा सब we had to do it. I will very frankly. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि मैंने एकदम बिल्कुल सब देखा और तभी मुझे प्रॉफिट है. Sometimes you have that gut.
Yes.
ये 2 indications कम है, but it is looking good. So
True.
Let me stick my neck out and try.
Right.
So we did very good. I earned 87,000 in Asian Paint in next 2 months. Then we did a good trade on Hindustan Unilever back then. So उसमें मुझे 3 lots I was trading. So I just got 1.5 lakh rupees. So then again we came into profit.
Very good.
So that's how we bounced back. We stopped trading, but we stopped for 3-4 days. ये भी हुआ है कि नहीं 4 दिन नहीं करते अभी कुछ, just to clear up our brains,
Do you think it is important to
Sometimes it troubles you, sir.
So as per your experience, it is important to slow down, especially when you're hit a bad patch? Yes?
That's what my experience so far has been.
And will you agree that it is also equally important to slow down when you hit a good patch?
No, I didn't know this. Now I'm coming to know. Because then you fly high, and then...
Exactly. वो तो आप you think that every trade you take you will be profitable. So now
This is the learning for me now.
So now do you agree that if you had a great week, great month, next month ठंड बैठना है, as in less trades and all? Do you agree? I think keeping it.
Absolutely.
We do, sir, but we've not done that. To be very frank, and we have seen a bad patch after that as well. In half month में we've done amazing.
Yes.
और उसके next week में
सब
सब
गया.
चला
सब
जाता
गया.
है. So
So then,
so
yeah, sir, go
far
on.
where we stand today, Jan 2022, I think, excuse me, I think 5 6 years of dabbling behind you. Now you've much refined, and if I'm not wrong, you have resigned, or you're completely back, right?
Yes, sir. I have resigned for now. Yes,
Okay.
because of my
Health issues.
medical condition.
Yeah.
Yes, and then I am home right now, and we are doing this full time as of now.
So now this is your full time endeavor, and for how long are you doing this full time?
Sir, 6 months now.
6 months.
6 to 8 months I'm doing full time.
That's good.
8 महीना हो गया कि on full time we are doing this.
Okay. And your level of confidence?
Quite okay. Like on a scale of 10, I will say 7 or 8. No, it keeps varying. You know, every time the market gives you a pushback, this comes down. It still has never made me feel settled. कि हाँ, अब मुझे आ गया, you know.
Hmm.
Because somewhere to control that greed is not easy, but one has to. Because when you go do a good, as you said, sir, we also felt कि नहीं, अभी ये ना एक ये body 5% hit कर लिया, 10% hit कर लिया महीने में, you know, like we have got 10% of our cap as a profit in a month. So we should stop. Then we start thinking, अच्छा ठीक है, 2 दिन रुक गए. Then when you see ये तो अच्छा trade था, you know, we missed it. We should have taken it, तो 12 भी बन जाते. Because जब जाता है, तब तो 15% भी चला जाता है. Then when it is coming, why should I not take it also?
Correct.
So this is a conflict that we always have. We have arguments about it. But then now while I speak with you, I agree with you that sometimes you should have a mental target and stop there.
Okay. So you have a full-fledged setup at your end, and you're doing this full time, right? I get this question asked, very stupid question, asked almost many a times. Okay, sir, can I make a living out of trading investment? Number one. And number two, how much kind of percentage can I expect from the markets? I give my kind of answers, which is like completely demotivates the person, but because you have done it to some extent and you are living it to a lot of extent, if someone asks you tomorrow that aapne to you're managing to do it, what will be your answer? Number one, is it possible for anyone to trade for a living?
Yes.
Number two, is it better that that person has or had a career जहाँ पे उसने 2 3 या 4 साल का बैकअप रखा है एंड देन ट्रेड करना चाहिए, या फिर कोई बैकअप नहीं है, ट्रेडिंग से जो पैसा मिलेगा दैट इज गोइंग टू पे माई बिल्स? Which one will you opt for?
Definitely one needs the backup.
Because psychologically it's a
Different in trading. And same way every month is going to be different. So it's not like हर महीना like a salary I am going to draw इतना amount and
Right.
I'm going to take it home. It's
Right.
not going to be like that.
So I generally
You see amazing profits.
Yeah.
उसके आगे शायद 3 months you're going to have a bad patch.
correct.
So what will you do during that time?
अच्छा, मैं कुछ पूछूं आपसे. Will you agree with me that out of 12 months, 3 to 4 months exceptionally good, 1 2 months exceptionally bad, rest 60% कुछ आया कुछ गया? Is it like that in your case?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
If you take your last 100 trades, क्या उसमें 10-15% bumper, 5-10%, 10-10% equally bad, and most of the 60-65% इधर उधर आसपास little profit, little, is it like that?
Yes. Sir, for me, for us, 30%.
Yeah.
Bad trades.
Yes.
Sir, about 20, right now I'm hitting 50-50 on good and bad. And either udhar is another remaining of 50-60%.
So I have noticed this thing time and again that बाजार आपको मौका देता है to make and equal मौका देता है to break also, and 50% of the time टुक टक कुछ आया कुछ गया. And keeping this takes the shape of a typical normal distribution curve. When someone starts his career trading and he or she feels that I will pay my bills, I will make my livelihood out of the money, it becomes very difficult, because out of 12 months, 2 months is going to be, 3 months is going to be phenomenally good. 1 month or 2 months is going to be phenomenally bad. And so it will jar him, it will shake him up. and he might leave and quit. So relative to that, I think you make a career for few years, you have a backup, have some saving, have something to fall back on, and then dhire dhire, year after year after year after, maybe after 5-7 years of trading, you will reach a stage. I remember interacting with our fellow mentorship member Indranil. He was with BMW. He is from Chennai, I believe, and he had such dedication that he was preparing for this day of his life that he's going to, quit and trade. And he's been preparing for years, that he knew that psychologically it's so difficult. I have to create a backup so that my entire family and I are relaxed, and then I can do trading in a much more relaxed mind frame. So that I think is extremely important.
We will agree to that, sir, because otherwise, if you do not have a backup, it will straight affect your trading.
Correct.
The trades you take. Because sometimes you will not have the confidence to take the trade. If you know that this trade, the profit or loss is going to decide how much money you take home that month.
Yeah. Yes.
Then it is going to be very difficult. Number one. Second thing, for us who have not been, I have been on a salary, right? So to that migration from
Certainty
like
to uncertainty.
salaried person to a business का mindset takes time.
Thanks.
जहाँ पे कैसे होता है, क्योंकि I cannot think of a month. I have to think for a year or two and then see कि ये मेरा statement है, and this is my profit and this is my loss.
Yeah.
And net what have I made and how much can I take home for this year.
Yes.
It cannot be कि इस महीने मुझे 20,000 आए मैं लेके गया, अगले महीने I got 40 and took back, then I lost 1 lakh, so now what?
Correct.
So should I give it back and
Right.
start trading, or reduce my capital by 1 lakh and then keep trading?
Right.
So I felt that the moment we started looking at it, like both of us started looking at it as a business, कि this is our business, ये मेरा business है, इसका एक turnover होना चाहिए at the end of the year.
Good.
So okay, एक mental target लेना है कि okay, true, okay, fine, we are new, 20-30% a year is fantastic, even if it is in trading. So let's at least see where if we can reach that. अगर उतना है, then we'll see, can it be 32 or 30 was too big, 25 भी ठीक है हर साल का. So that is why we started treating it from a year and a half. हमारा कोई बड़ा journey नहीं है. 5 years is nothing when I hear people's experiences and in trading. So now we are looking at it that way.
Good. Can I brag a little bit? Can I say that today, where both of us, you stand with us, the mentorship concepts and the experience that you had, 30-40% in your trading account, isn't it highly achievable by you? Don't you think so? End of the year.
So sometimes it happens, but sometimes it just takes away everything.
And then later on, sometimes it happens that it's gone. So overall, if you see the entire year, it doesn't go up to 40.
Okay, if I break it into two parts, making 30-40% within a period of 12 calendar months and keeping that 30-40% for the rest of the year, which one is easier for you, making or keeping it?
Keeping it.
Keeping it is easier or making easier?
Keeping it is easy. Keeping it is difficult. Making it is easier.
It becomes easier.
So you.
Sometimes it comes in 3 months also.
So making 30-40% a year is no big deal, correct?
No big deal.
So मैं अगर आपको बोलूँ, आप कैलेंडर या फाइनेंशियल ईयर से स्टार्ट करेंगे अप्रैल टू मार्च, within the next few months, the moment you make 40%, for the rest of the year you will stop. It's very difficult to stop.
Yes, sir.
But if you do this,
Very difficult.
if you do this for 10 years, if you do this, आप अप्रैल से स्टार्ट करते हो, within the next few months, maybe 6 months, maybe 3 months, the moment you hit 30-40%, because I know you'll be able to make it. It's pretty easy, right? You will stop for the rest of the year. If you do this for the next 10 years, will you have all the 10 years 30-40%? High chance.
Yes, high chance.
But keeping is the most difficult thing.
That's amazing. Absolutely difficult.
So knowing where to stop is more important than knowing the start.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely, sir. I mean, we are realizing it and we are still realizing it. Sometimes we keep making the same mistakes again. कि अरे आ गया है. But then that thing is there. कि नहीं थोड़ा ट्रेड कर लेते हैं. एक बार और कर लेते हैं. You get stuck into it. So we have had our month. So this is what our plan is for this year. कि like इस बार अगर मेरा 40 आ गया ना, I'm just going to stop. और if I feel like doing it, तो cash में 50 शेयर में 100 शेयर में कर ले, just to make me happy that I traded. You know, that's it.
Good, good. How has trading being as a husband wife too? Has it? Of course, it uh, has its share in your relationship. How do you see yourself? Of course, the number of fights might have increased relative to others, but as you look at it, जब से आप लोगों ने ये trading वाला angle अपने life में, you have inculcated it, included it. As you look back, has it made both of you as a partner stronger, weaker? I mean, any suggestions for those who are listening to us who are husband wives?
Stronger. I think.
Definitely.
Because both of us know what happens. You know, like एक का mistake नहीं है. Like when everything is going good and hunky dory, there is no problem. You know?
Right.
The only problem start when things go bad. Isn't it? कि यार आज इतना loss हो गया या consistently 1.5 महीना losses ही हो रहे हैं.
Right.
You know, something like that when it happens. So then there's a moral support. You know, because sometimes I feel bogged down. कि I think I should stop and I don't know even what am I doing. And she's like, okay, then do one thing. You take a break. Only I will trade.
Yeah. Okay.
I will trade. You
There are
just take a
days
break.
when we do this.
Right. But you two have two different styles, right? Bhakti trades
Yes.
the weekly chart. She is much more stabler in a time frame, but you trade smaller time frames, if I believe so.
I trade day and day sometimes. So 75, I have not dabbled too much because I think I'm not very confident doing. I don't know why. When I look at the trades that have happened, I like them. अरे ये तो अच्छा था. But when it comes to taking it, something happens and I'm not able to.
Stay away from it. Stay away from it. So far it's been going good.
Yes, sir. It's been okay. Like last month was not so good. To be very frank, November, December really bummed us out.
Yeah, November was phenomenally good for me.
Half was very good, sir.
November was good, but
And half of the November it just bummed me out. December was not good for me at all.
Don't worry. I think it's not going to be that great. Let's see how it turns out. We can discuss in our weekly meets. So quickly, if I try to try and sum it up slowly, is there means your idea going forward is to put in most of your time in this, both of you, so that with experience and the falls and the rise in inflation and rate of interest, so all the economics and all the market changes will slowly make you a better trader, investor over a span of time, correct? And you're quite confident you can do it.
Correct, sir. Yes. So we have been doing it. So it's just that the challenge now is to bring consistency in our trading. We are there. We just need to be consistent now.
Acha,
This year's challenge is that.
this is my personal experience. When I look back into my personal blunders, bad trades, loss making trades, most of the time I find out that it was my fault. Most of the time. In the sense that I wanted a little bit of more profits, or I probably was too aggressive to trail the stop, whatever it is, whatever be it, I could have done better. Have you experienced similar kind of things, that the wrong trades you could have handled it better?
Yes.
yes, sir, definitely.
Definitely. Yes. Many
So
times.
there's always room for improvement.
Sometimes the greed sets in. Sometimes that over optimism sets in. कि नहीं ये तो जाने वाला है. Something in your mind that ये तो जाने वाला है. Even you see your target, no, I know this target is 100 rupees more. So then when the trade has stopped you out, then you feel that no, my target was there. Why did I just not exit at that time? If I had to do this, I would have rather invested.
Right.
Why am I trading and then holding it for expecting? I'm trading on a day and
Yeah.
I'm expecting a year ka target,
Yeah.
or a 3 months ka target, which is not correct.
Right.
So sometimes that happens. Many times it happens, sir.
True.
Sometimes the greed sets in so much that you stop
Thinking rationally.
in fact, you overlook your own set of rules.
Yes.
Like, okay, अगर profit है तो you start trailing.
Yes.
But no, it's going to go. थोड़ा सा रुक के देखते हैं. थोड़ा सा अच्छा इतना आ गया है अभी. Now I should exit because मेरा trailing आगे आ गया है.
Yeah.
But no, let me give away say 5 points, 10 points. But then later on, before you know, things are like out of your hand.
Sir, another thing we have experienced, when we're taking the trade, उसमें कुछ गलत नहीं दिखता है. But the moment a trade is taken, you start seeing so many faults in the trade. अरे I should not take. यहाँ तक ये लग रहा है यहाँ पे थोड़ा negative divergence बन है. Why did I go wrong? देन अरे इधर तो शूट नेगेटिव था, ये तो हमने देखा ही नहीं, उस वक्त क्यों नहीं दिखाई दिया.
Right.
These things happen. I don't know why, but that psychology playing when you're scared, or
This there is
I
a
don't.
there is a need to take the trade. The fact that I'm not sitting in a trade makes me feel incomplete. So there's always this urge कि मुझे एक सौदा करना है, खुजली है. This is some kind of an impatience, and then you land up taking a trade which then later on उसमें खामियां दिखना चालू हो जाता है. You can say very close analogy to getting married. Very quickly you fall in love within few months. Love at first sight, divorce at the first fight. That kind of a thing might happen. Okay, great. I've been asking you a lot of questions. Is there any question you would like to ask me before we sign off? I know you ask me
How did
questions
you
every
start?
week, so I answer them
Yeah.
to my utmost
How did
honesty.
you start?
Yes.
How did you start?
How did I start it? I was fascinated with the stock market when I was very young, like 6, 7, 8 years old.
Lucky you.
No, I was fascinated. I couldn't take any steps. I come from a very humble Bengali background where stock market is like really far. No one even talks about it. And I was fascinated by the Telegraph newspaper, and it had 2 pages of small open, high, low, close volumes,
Yes.
name of stocks. And I remember my father had taken me to one of his friend's farmhouse for a party, and I was fascinated by the person's creation of wealth. The farmhouse was an example of it, and somewhere I heard that he's big time into investments, and but I was always fascinated with the fact that I'm looking at a stock price, I'm looking at a price today, and next Monday it can be very different. So ये जो movement था ना, the fact that one can make and break in a very small span of time used to fascinate me. This risk, this movement. It was not dull कि हाँ 9 से 5 नौकरी करो, हर 31 तारीख को पगार आएगा. You see that monotonity somehow didn't go well with me. So I was fascinated. I started economics. I got my job in Kotak Securities. I was trying to sell PMS. I was into sales. As I said, I came from a very humble Bengali background, and this I'm talking about 99, 2000. That's exactly, I think, when you got yourself into merchant navy. I got myself
We
a
are the
job.
same age, similar
Yeah,
age.
we are similar age.
So
So
that time we same होंगे.
I got a job, but then I realized I took the big plunge कि मुझे मुंबई जाना है. I think whatever I am today, whatever I do, the way I do, that city has a huge role to play. Huge role to play. So I worked my butt out there, and I learned a lot of things. And I was a fund manager, and then I realized कि enough of selling my intellectual property to make the rich richer, and I would like to start on my own. Training हमेशा होता ही था. I was training since 2005. So with NAC, with business schools, ICFAI. So training was always there, and I learned huge out of my trainings. And yes, I think it's slow and steady. So as I discuss this story with you, I am essentially helping you and so many thousands others to get a hold of the psychology of trading rather than aim and shoot and first crush and all that. Because setups तो आते जाते रहते हैं, until and unless you know कब fourth gear से second gear आना है और कब first gear से second gear जाना है, buying an expensive car is not going to work for you. So, and I personally have learned so much talkings like this and others, and in our weekly classes also I keep on relearning. So yes, I've created a portfolio for myself, slow and steady, and the objective is for the next 20 years take it further up and help people to trade better. In return, it has helped me exponentially. If you think that I as a mentor has helped you to wherever you are, I can tell you that equal amount of help I've got from your questions.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. All right. So let's wrap it up. Thanks for giving me your time. It's a pleasure that you're part of our community, And I'll end this discussion giving you a plan of action that soon I'm coming to Pune and we'll conduct our mentorship meet. So it will be a day of talks, chats, food and good times. So hopefully I'll try my best. Feb or March, I'm definitely coming down to Pune.
Sure, sir, sure.
All right.
It will be fun.
Really looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you, Nirmal. Thank you, Bhakti.
I told her we must go.
All the best. Just remember one takeaway.
मुझसे शुरू किया तो पहले तो okay, I will.
So the last takeaway for you would be, I would suggest listening to your story would be after you have a good week, good month, good percentage hurdle that you have crossed 5% for the week or month, slow down. That is more, consistency I think is more than making. Making is not problem. Keeping is the problem.
Right, sir.
ठीक है? All the best. We'll interact again Monday morning in our mentorship live classes. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Bye. Take care.